That the housing market is a bright spot in this economy. However, some skeptics say most of the people buying these homes are in fact investors who then rent them out again. So is that really a real estate recovery? Let's bring in Anthony Lolli. He is the CEO of Rapid Realty. Anthony, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, is that an accurate statement?
Absolutely.
A lot of the new buyers are in fact investors. They don't live there, they just rent the place out. So proportionally, there's more renters coming into the marketplace than actual real buyers. Accurate?
Very accurate. In fact, if you study the permitting and plans being submitted to the building departments, they're all rental-related projects.
Why is this? Why do you think it's so? And do you approve of this?
Yes, I do approve of it. In fact, I grew my company because of it. And really, the main reason is that renting is so attractive because it gives you the agility to move from neighborhood to neighborhood and also get all the luxury amenities that you can't afford to buy.
Yeah, but that's not the American dream, is it? The American dream for young folks, 20-somethings, 30-somethings, is get a job, marry, have kids, buy a house, and, it'll gain in value. You think that's not a valid dream any longer?
I think that when you study the equity appreciation rate right now, it's not really a dream, it's a burden.
But if I'm buying at a very low price, and I would be, because they're down, 30% from 5 or 6 years ago, and mortgage rates are incredibly low, I can make the case that that's a good purchase, a good idea, a good financial investment.
Well, it is a buy and hold market. So if you're going to hang on for the next 7 to 10 years, then maybe you might realize a profit. But if you want to sell right away because your circumstances change, you're going to have a tough time.
Your business is you sell homes to investors.
That's right. Correct? Well, my business is really a rental business. I grew my company from 1 location to 60 locations over the past 30 months, and mainly because our focus, is specialty, our niche is rental.
So you've got a dog in this hunt. Of course you approve of renting.
Of course, yeah.
But what do you say to a youngster who comes along and says, look, I can pick this up for $200,000. I've got the down payment. It would have been $400,000 5 years ago. You got to say that's a good deal.
Well, I would say, are you prepared for some of the incidentals that happen? A leaky faucet could lead to a $1,000 a month.
That's nitpicking. Of course, it comes with the territory.
But Stuart, isn't the concern broader than that? Isn't it the uncertainty still politically, as far as taxes and upcoming expenses that you might have as a working tax-paying individual in this country to buy a home with the risk that you might need to move 2 years later and that housing market might plunge 20% in that time? Isn't that the risk that these renters are really trying to avoid?
Absolutely. It's scary right now. You never know, even with natural disasters.
Wait a minute. Come on, everybody. Look, mortgage rates an all-time low. I can pick up a 30-year fixed rate.
I would agree with you, Stuart. I think there's a reason, though, that people are flocking to the rental market.
Yeah, but you've got some skin in the game. It's your house. You're a youngster, up and coming. Come on.
But here's the problem, though. The reason, though, is sadly fear. And it's fear of unknowns that may or may not happen. And I think, unfortunately, this is what's spooking the entire nation. And I think to Stuart's point, a young couple should endeavor to buy a house while they can, because anyone who doesn't buy a house right now probably will regret it 20 years from now.
Let's turn this around and look at it from Anthony's point of view, from the investor's point of view.
Right.
Make the case to me that it is a good investment, not for the actual person who lives there, but for the person who buys it. Go.
Well, first of all, the rental trends are just going up and up. I mean, it's...
What do you mean, prices? I mean, the rental...
Absolutely,
the amount you
sure.
can get
$1 per square foot, and the demand is even higher. There's more people going to college, and people are not choosing dorm room living. They're choosing to rent apartments in the interim. So it's definitely a strong rental market.
You've built a business
Yes.
on renting to college students.
That's right.
Good Lord.
It's not a bad idea.
How do you sell that to the investors, the landlords?
Well, they love it. I mean, 3 roommates, 3 sources of income. You know, especially if the college is offering a housing stipend, it all pays off. It's guaranteed money.
What's the best market in the country? I mean, okay, you're in 60 markets, is
Yes.
it? Okay, 60 markets. Where is the investment most attractive? Tell me, which area?
Well, New York. You know, any metropolitan area that has the ebb and flow and the turnover. You know, you want a tenant that's going to move out next year because the rent price increases. So you want that turnover. You welcome that turnover.
Supposing they're a bad tenant, you can't get rid of them.
Well, you can. You have to screen them first. You have to really do your due diligence. You just don't put anybody in your building.
Because we've all seen Pacific Heights. Just so you know, according to census, the average price for a median price for a rental unit was $425 in 1995. It's almost $725 now. It's almost doubled since then.
Almost double.
Okay, you people.
But I do believe, though, beneath the surface of it all, it's all reflected. You know, our low birth rate, our low marriage rate, people aren't starting businesses. It's a scary thing. You know, besides not your business that people are afraid to buy a house.
This is America. You got to be optimistic.
You
Come
gotta be
on.
optimistic. I don't
We'll get
disagree.
back to real
I'm with
America
you, baby.
at
I'm
some
with
point.
you.
We
I'm
agree
you.
with you, Stuart, but there's a reason why the trend is what it is. People are afraid they're not going to have a job tomorrow, so why buy a home?
I think you caused a good deal of discussion, Anthony. No, good stuff, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thanks so much
Appreciate
for
it.
joining us, sir.
Likewise.
Appreciate it.